confident, courageous.
Anywhere. You have to sit down and ask questions.
Hello, welcome. My name is Kwabena Darko. Welcome. Today I want to share with you freedom, financial freedom, financial freedom. If you watch TV, especially if you look at social media, Facebook, Instagram, all the other ones, particularly in our area, and you see the very things that are very heightened, the sports, the entertainment, the religion, the comedy, they're very high. And so most people will spend all their time consuming things that will eventually put them into bondage. And yet, to my mind, the very things that will make you, that will restrict your life, that will make you compromise, are the things that you have to pay attention to. What it means is that the things that will give you leverage, that will give you the ability to live life on your own terms and to be able to live the life that you want, will come from having freedom with your finances. Which means that large part of your time should be used to going after these goals. You know, coming to a stage in your life that you don't have to work so to eat. You know, you don't have to wait for the salary before you can pay the hospital bills. You don't have to wait for the salary before you can pay the rent. You don't have to wait for the salary before you can take the children to school. You don't have to wait for the salary before you can go, you know, and have fun with yourself, even with your family, you know, enjoy life. And so you have to start life knowing that if anything would want to control you, a lot of it will be tied to finances, you know. So work as they see it, get a job, but you don't get a job so that you become financially free. The very thing that will help you to become financially free will be being able to increase your sources of income, your sources of revenue, you know. So if you largely have to depend on one source of income, you know, you work and every month that is what comes in, and if that's not coming, you have no other option, then you're limiting your future. So financial freedom is so key. Be diligent when you want to spend money to buy anything which is capital intensive, like if you want to buy a car, if you want to buy a house, or you want to build a house. Let's say you want to go to school again, anything that you're going to spend 20,000 cedis, 30,000 cedis, 50,000 cedis, you know, anything beyond 10,000 cedis is significant. And that is why that's where most people eventually mess up with their finances. You know, they start life, they start to get income, revenue, they start to get money from the business, and right away the money goes to buy a nice car for the family, it goes to start to build a house for the family, you know, nice shoe, even starts with nice wedding. Most people would start life or would not start life saying that this money that is coming, I want to put this money in another machine that will at least increase or that will bring another source of revenue. Most people never do that. So it's from the salary to them spending. It's from the salary to them buying a land. It's from the salary to them building a house. It's from the salary to them having a wedding. It's from the salary to them going to another country for holiday. You know, so in that way, you're designing your life to solely depend on a job for livelihood, for survival. And I think that if you have been out of college, if you have been in the workplace for 10 years, that should not be your story. You know, it's one thing where you have not paid attention to this, but the moment you start to pay attention to this, then you can build the life that you want. So work with the mind that I want this freedom, and there is no freedom without economic freedom. There is no freedom without financial freedom. If you want to give any freedom to anybody, and they have all the other freedom but money, because money moves things in this world. Money is like the water or the fuel in this world. Just as the car that you have needs fuel to run, just as the body that you have needs blood to flow, to move around. Once you're short of blood, what means is that you technically getting out of time. So the same in this life. The moment you get out of money, money runs out of your hands or your pocket, your accounts. A lot of things start to get complicated. A lot of things start to get complicated. If you're sick and you go to the hospital, you have to pay. If you see somebody you want to help them, you need money. So don't say. They have groomed a lot of people, especially the so-called middle class. They have taught them that, money is not everything. Money does not solve every problem. Listen, let those who have money say that to you. Now, if you don't have, work towards that. Work towards that because it gives you options. It gives you leverage. You can live differently in this life if you are able to design your life and work towards it such that you don't necessarily have to have a job to eat. You don't necessarily have to wait for the salary to survive. You don't necessarily have to go and beg somebody when the rent is due. And this can be done when you structure your life. It is difficult. Nobody said that it's easy. It's difficult. It calls for a lot of discipline. But I think that, just as they say, freedom is responsibility. You cannot say that you want freedom and you're not ready to be responsible. It's for the mature. So the world has designed you to just fixate on comedy and fun, and forget about the most important things in this life. Money to most people is God. Don't forget that. It runs this world. And so the moment money is more powerful than you will serve it all your life. But if you become more powerful than money, which means that you study it, you understand it, you know how to use it for the dreams, for the aspirations that you have. So work to increase your sources of income. In as much as they say savings are good, which is good, but if you have more money coming in from different sources than what you use, then you are on the path of becoming financially free. And if you're able to structure them in such a way that even if you don't show up, still income is coming in, that it means that you have done a good work with yourself. And this is knowledge that you have to acquire. You have to go for it. You have to study it. You have to master it. If you're 20 years, wasted 20 years already. Go to school. Once you go to school, I remember they told us go to school. Don't put money before you. I would say that put them side by side. Go to school, look for money. Because after all, when you finish the school and you don't have a job, the same people who told you to go to school will be telling you with all the school that you went to, you don't have it. So go to school to learn, to study, to learn, to develop intellectually, expand your mind, but study money alongside. Structure it, because financial freedom is everything. You come after school, they will put you to a certain place. They say that go and work at this stage. Even if you don't like it, you have to go. Why? Because you need the money to live. It means that you're not free. Somebody has to detect. Some people go to work in certain places that the only reason they show up is because of the money. They know that they don't like the work. They are very sad. They are not respected there, but they have no option than to go because they need the money. You can start life like that, but you don't have to in the middle of your life or at the end of your life end up that way. And you can reverse that, or you can refuse that, or you can stop that when you see it as a necessity to work towards your financial freedom. This freedom is key. So stop wasting a lot of time on comedy, on sports, on entertainment. Stop wasting a lot of time on things that will not add value to this life. Somebody said that there are two problems. One is money problem, and the other one is all the other problems put together. And my friend said that 90% of the other problems can be solved by money. The depression of a man with money is so different from the depression of a man who's broke. Don't forget that. When you hear the poor man cry and weep and become desperate, is the absence of money. Those with money have their problems, but I would rather have money with some kind of problem than have not. I would rather have a car with fuel than have a car with no fuel. Your life is like that. You need to have money and you need to work towards that. Don't let anybody give you advice to say that it's not important. Look at the rich people in this world. They don't even study to become doctors, lawyers, engineers, and all that. It's the average, it's the poor who are so much, obsessed with going to school all the time to get a good job. What they commit to is they study money, they study investment, they study businesses, they study wealth. They don't want to let that go. So some families have had wealth for hundreds of years, for thousands, hundreds of years, 200 years, 300 years. They still have the wealth in their family because they keep on teaching the next generation. They teach them there's some kind of wisdom they have to preserve the wealth, and it stays with the family. And go and look at them. They are not the ones getting up early in the morning to go, and they are not the ones talking about salary and how it's increased. No, they are not. They are looking at investments. They are looking at how to preserve the money. They are looking at how to bring in more money. Why? Because they know the power that gives that money gives to them. They call some countries poor countries, and they call some countries rich countries. And most people would want to go to the rich country, and yet those people will start to also debate that money is not everything, but they want to live in the countries they say are rich. It's amazing. It's amazing. So money moves things around in this world, and you have to study it. Don't let anybody, if they want to keep you as slaves, if they want to keep you as servants. The only reason you have a maid in your house is because that maid is not the daughter of a very rich man. The only reason that you can treat people the way you treat them, that you can pay them nothing, is because they don't have that. And so somebody should teach them. Somebody should say that pay attention to this. Don't have fun. Don't play. Don't sit on the tree play football or play dummy, or draft and say that you want to have fun. Somebody said that. He said because we will die, don't you have to sleep? No. Yes, you will die, but don't sleep. If you are poor, don't have fun. Your number one duty is to get to a level where you have some level of financial freedom. What it means is that if you lose the income, if you lose the pay for the next 3 years, the next 4 years, the next 2 months, the next 1 year, how much would your investment, or you not even confident, courageous?
Anyway, you have to sit down and ask questions and look for